What up, YouTube? It's your boy Nate. Today I'm going to be answering 6 questions that you may or may not know about me. If you are new to my channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. If you are a returning viewer, hope you guys enjoy this. Some of these things you may not or you may know about me. I just want to give my viewers kind of an insight onto who Nate Rodgers is and my background and how I got to where I am today.
Where are you from and how was your upbringing?
So I was raised in Covington, Louisiana. I went to school in New Orleans, Louisiana. I played against guys like Odell Beckham and Leonard Fournette in high school, because that's where those guys are from. My upbringing was a very solid upbringing. I never really wanted for anything growing up as a kid. Like, my dad was able to provide for me. This isn't like one of those, broke to rich stories. Like, my dad always provided for me. I always had to work for what I got. But my dad was a provider, and my mom was a stay-at-home mom, and she held the house down. Like, she was the one that cracked the whip. If grades weren't good or anything like that, chores weren't being done, my mom was on it. My parents were a little hard on me, more so like my dad, as far as sports, because he invested a lot in me as far as taking me around to practices. Like, there was never a time where I wasn't in sports. My dad was one of those dads, like, in the stands, yelling crazy at me, yelling crazy at the refs, like saying kind of crazy stuff. And my dad was big, he was like Debo, so everybody was scared. So nobody ever wanted to say anything to him. But for the most part, like, I had a solid upbringing. My parents raised me right. They taught me morals and values that I still, have today. So, I was raised right.
What sports did you play growing up?
Sports, so when I was younger, like 7th, 8th grade, I started playing football and basketball. Like, those were the first 2 sports that I played. Basketball was always my first love. I love playing basketball. I got into football because I was good at it. I was always naturally like a good athlete. I played baseball. I didn't really like baseball, even though I was good at it. It just was too boring for me. I did track. I wanted to really do track in high school, but I already playing football and basketball, plus training and all that was just too much. So I was a 2-sport athlete in high school.
What got you into training, and what's your philosophy on weightlifting and
So what got me into training was my dad. My dad was like I said, he was Debo. He was big swole. So, like, anytime we would go somewhere, like, everyone would just look at my dad like, damn, who is this big ass dude? So naturally, like, my dad worked out, so he got me into weight training when I was 10. I remember I started like my first kind of like training program for sport-specific training. So I was doing things like powerlifting, squatting. I'm not powerlifting. Power cleans, hang cleans, jerks, learning how to bench, learning how to squat at age 10. It was a sports performance guy at my gym. And I remember my dad enrolled me. And like I said, I was always a naturally gifted athlete. So I picked up on that stuff real quick, and it kind of just progressed from there. I learned from there. Then I always worked out with my dad. I had different trainers for basketball, for football. So there was never like a time in my life where I wasn't working out or I wasn't training. And what was the second part of that question?
what's your philosophy on weightlifting and life?
So my philosophy on weightlifting, now that I've lifted weights pretty much my whole life, is I feel like there's 2 types of people who are in weight training. Those people who have maybe were never in shape, never knew anything about weights, no one introduced it to them, and now they weight train because they do it to look better, for self-esteem, for confidence boosts and stuff like that, and just to be a part of the community. And I feel like there's the other side of that is people who are kind of born to do it. And I feel like I was one of those people who was born to be like an athlete per se. Like, it's something that's been part of my whole life. If I don't work out or I don't train, I'm not the same person. So it's kind of a part of me. I never got into it because I was fat or had body issues or I wanted to be accepted. It's something that I started at a young age, and I just really love to do it, and I'll always do it for the rest of my life, there's never been a time where I can say like I've taken weeks or months off of training, other than when I got hurt. Like I've had injuries in my life, but some people would tell me like, yeah, I haven't worked out in like 3 weeks or 3 months. Like I can't relate to that because working out and training is a part of me. So if I don't train and work out, I'm just not the same person. And my philosophy on life because of that is I just feel like, you know, at the end of the day, you have to do what makes you happy, no matter why or how you get into certain things. If it makes you happy and you truly enjoy doing it, then you want to stick with doing that. And if you end up losing yourself in doing that, trying to impress others, and you're doing it for the wrong reasons, then maybe you should, you know, reevaluate what you're doing. I think that goes hand in hand in weight training and life. You know, if you're just somebody trying to get big on Instagram and portray a certain image, like look at me, look at my muscles, then you may be doing it for the right reason. I mean, for the wrong reasons. But if you're somebody, you know, genuine about understanding the body and really wanting to be better as a person, weight training will help with that, and it will also increase other areas in your life. A solid mind and a solid work ethic in the gym leads to a solid mind and a solid work ethic outside of the gym.
What was your college experience like?
My college experience, it started off kind of rocky. I went to Saddleback Junior College, which is where I met Kev Pitbull in 2012. I didn't have any D1 offers out of high school like I wanted to because of injuries and stuff like that. So I went to JUCO. I actually had the time of my life in JUCO. Over there in Orange County as a 17-year-old kid coming from Louisiana. You know, like California was like, it was everything to me. I was pretty much just living life. Like I really wasn't worried about school and stuff like that. Also got hurt again. I had 2 knee surgeries when I was at Saddleback too. So I never really got to perform like how I wanted to perform. But I ended up being on a pretty good team. The year I did play in 2015, we were part of the state championship team. We lost in the state championship. But from there, I was able to get a scholarship to West Texas. And I did 2 years there, same thing, man. I got hurt going into fall camp, so I never really got to produce like I wanted to produce. But I'd say when I was at Texas, that's kind of where I made the shift from being like a kid and having like a very kid mentality to, all right, I'm not playing football anymore, so I need to do something that's gonna set me up for the rest of my life. So like I took grades really serious, and I really just started to take my life serious at that point. So overall, my college experience was very like up and down, but towards the end, it ended up, you know, being a blessing.
Why did you start NemesisX?
NemesisX. I started NemesisX because I've always, like I said, always been into fitness. I was very big into, you know, like motivation. I always was a person who found motivation like internally. I was never one of those guys that need a lot of rah-rah, like people in my ear telling me like, you need to do this, you need to do this. Like I always had internal motivation. And I know from just being a kid, a lot of stuff didn't go my way because I was an arrogant, cocky kid who I worked hard, but I was just one of those people that like, I was lazy. I didn't take things serious, right? So I always wondered like why I wasn't getting D1 offers or why I wasn't getting, you know, the best grades. And I look at it as because I would tell myself negative things, even though like I was working hard. I'd be like, oh, this person doesn't want to see me win, or it's my dad's fault, he's working me too hard, or my teachers don't like me, that's why I'm getting good grades. So I always dealt with internal battles with myself. And once I stopped playing football and I started to take myself serious, I kind of had a switch in mindsets. And I really just started to talk positively to myself. I really just started to be disciplined about eating, about really hitting the weights properly, about just being a good person, like a person of character. And then all of a sudden, good stuff started happening to me, right? So, and from the jump, I always looked at people like Mike Rashid, like fitness people who are very like influential. And I was like, man, I want to do that one day. I want to be one of those people. So in college, I always knew I wanted to start a brand. and I wanted to be have my brand geared towards like motivation and inspiration. And on top of the fact that I've always been into like clothes and fashion. So that's kind of the main reason why I started NemesisX, is because for the mental aspects of me being from somebody who like things always went wrong, bad stuff always happened to me, to being a person to where I started winning in life, and I always had good luck and good fortune. And it was just a change in mindset. You know, like my brand, the philosophy behind my brand is you versus you. You know, you are literally your own worst enemy. So if you tell yourself negative things, negative thoughts, that energy is attracted to you. If you tell yourself positive things, you put positive energy back into the world, that shit comes back to you. So Nemesis, I kind of just played around with that word, and I was talking to one of my buddies about it, and he was like, damn, why don't you name your brand Nemesis? Like it's, you know, it's essentially like an enemy. And then what I was saying was, you are your own worst enemy. So I was like, fuck, you know, Nemesis would kind of be the perfect thing. And then the X is just, you know, like an X factor. You know, it's just a little nice touch I added to the end. So.
What advice would you give somebody on starting their own business?
If I could give somebody advice on starting their own business, I would say that you have to have a full thought out vision for what you're trying to do with your business. It can't be like a pipe dream. It can't be because you all of a sudden had an idea and you think it would be cool to start, you know, like an ice cream truck or a clothing brand. Like, you have to really, really wholeheartedly believe that you can make that brand successful or that business successful, and you got to give it everything you got. You know, you can't take no for an answer. You can't be afraid to fail. You have to go through so many different emotions as being your own boss, because nobody's gonna do it for you. You know, if you decide to wake up late and bullshit all day, that's a day wasted. You know, but if you really discipline yourself and you believe wholeheartedly in your business model and your business, then, you know, you could be successful. But it's not for everybody, and that's okay. It's for the people who really just want to take a big risk in life and they want a big reward. So if I could give any advice, it would be to just stay true to who you are, stick to your script, and sooner or later you'll look up and you'll reap the benefits. And that's kind of it. Hope you guys enjoy that. Be dropping more content on the way. Again, please make sure you hit that like, comment, subscribe button. Leave a comment in the comment section if there's any other questions you guys want to know about me, and I'll try to answer it in the comment section. All right, peace.